All right. All right. All right. Let's get started. So we're gonna do a talk with 5 characters that I would nerf. Overall, I'm not really pro nerfs. It is, exceptions to the rule. Normally, I'm pro buffing characters. We've had a few talks about that in the past. So this one is going to be 5 characters I would nerf if I had to. Some of these characters, I would have a nerf and maybe a slight buff to compensate. But we're focusing on the nerfs, but I will still point out if I feel like, a slight buff would be, there as well. And I'm gonna try to keep it to like realistic nerfs, not like, oh, I'm, removing 1 frame or making, this move 1 frame laggier. I feel like that would be pretty boring answers. So, like, legit moves that could get nerfed, that wouldn't destroy the character, but still would make them a little bit worse. So let's get started. First one we're gonna start with is Snake. Probably not too much of a surprise, I would imagine. Overall, I currently think Snake is the best character, even though it's honestly so many characters that could be. He has a lot of good moves, but the one I would nerf is this fucking move. Nikita is honestly so good. You can chase people off the level with it very well, and you can remain entirely safe. And honestly, the way I would want to change this move is not necessarily like the strength, but giving a little bit more end lag to Snake, because it's so many times where you try to like punish him for using it, and you absolutely can't in practically any scenario. So I would keep the speed the same, I would keep the strength the same, but I would keep Snake and a little bit more of end lag. So the move comes with a little bit more of a risk. And I think that's a reasonable change. Like, he would still be an amazing character, he would still be S tier, very likely, but his Nikita would need a little bit more of timing, a little bit more of smart plays, rather than being very spammable in certain scenarios. So yeah, that's nerf number 1. They are not really in a particular order or whatever. It's like, yeah, 5 characters. Another one I would nerf is actually my former melee main. Or, it's still technically my main in melee, but my former main in a different game. The way I would nerf Peach, this honestly probably does not come as a surprise to people that have followed me a lot. But I would remove the RNG. Like, even in melee, like, yes, when I got like a Stitch Face or a bomb or whatever, like Peach / Daisy, like, same. Even though Daisy sucks, like, yes. Of course it applies to both. It's actually kind of silly if they are, I think it was like 1 pixel or something in Peach's animation, but yeah, Peach / Daisy. But yeah, I would remove the RNG aspect of the character. So no Stitch Face, no bombs. Like, the character would still be S tier. You could buff her very slightly in a different regard. Whether making some move faster, some move stronger, making her a tiny bit faster. Overall, she doesn't have the same speed issues in this game as she does in melee. But yeah, I would remove the RNG for sure, and probably give her something small to compensate, but still, end up as a worse character overall. Because yeah, I'm not a fan of RNG, as a lot of people know. Next character we would nerf if I had to is this game's Puff. With Wario, I would nerf Waft, or the Fart, a little bit. I'll make like The timing for it, how long it takes to, how much time it takes to give him mid waft and full waft, I think it's fine. Him keeping it between stocks is a little bit silly, but I can accept it. But I would make it a bit weaker. I think especially the full waft, it's honestly unreasonably strong. I think it's way too strong. But a little bit like Peach, I will give him something else to compensate for it. Whether that is like making Nair a little bit easier to hit on small characters, for example. Could be a lot of things that you could nerf. Giving him a little bit more range on some moves. But overall, he would still end up as a nerfed character. And yeah, Waft. That move, it kills, like, especially if you have Rage on top of that too, it kills way too early. And in this game, like, it's actually very hard to close out stocks with some characters. It takes more neutral exchanges. So, yeah, I would have to say Wario. I would also pick, I don't know, alongside with Wario, this is probably one of the more controversial picks, but I would pick Zero Suit Samus, and the one move I would wanna nerf is this one. I really dislike this move. It buries forever. It gets you out of disadvantage for free. Some invincibility on the move too. Like, is it anything this move doesn't do? It, like, recovery wise, it's amazing too. Like, Zero Suit's recovery is actually incredibly hard to deal with due to this move as well. You use it as a threat from the ledge. Like, just look at how quick that is when you drop from ledge going up like this. You can also mix up the drift you do it. Just the threat of having it out is like absolutely crazy. Like, I wouldn't mind if she got like some buff that almost compensates for it, so she still ends up getting nerfed, since, you know, the main point is to nerf characters in this video, right? But flip kick is honestly one of the best moves in the game. Like, yeah, that bury animation is also, it converts so early. Get out of disadvantage for free. Yeah, flip kick, really annoying. And then we are coming to an end with Joker. Now I can hear people, you know, chanting my name. They're happy. Joker, getting nerfed. Even though I don't think he's as good as the average person thinks, I'll probably, the first thing I would nerf is either his counter or his persona backer. One of the two. Not by like an absurd margin, but I would nerf one of these moves a little bit. The counter hitbox when in persona mode is incredibly good. And his persona backer is incredibly strong. So one of the two, not both. I think both would be a bit too extreme. So the counter you could nerf in different ways. You can make the hitbox smaller, you can make it weaker, you can make the end lag longer. So it's many ways you could nerf the move. And backer would mainly be, yeah, also just make it weaker or slower. And I think all of these can be justified. So yeah, that's gonna be my 5 characters, or 6 characters, since Peach and Daisy. But let's count it as one for now, even though Daisy sucks. But yeah, that's gonna be the characters I end up nerfing if I had to. Please let me know what 5 characters would you nerf if you had to. What 5 characters, and how would you nerf them?